Hello students. Today multiple choice questions based on chapter biodiversity and conservation. So first question is the biodiversity about a plant is asked. That too in India. That means in India how many varieties of plants are present. So in India 45,000 varieties of plants are present. So the correct answer will be this third option. And almost the double will be that of animals. It means that 90,000 animal species will be present. And many of them are yet to be discovered. Okay. But due to certain drawbacks, it is very difficult to discover all the species present on the earth as well, including India. Now, species which is in danger of extinction. Low risk group is the group which is not in danger. Vulnerable is they are not endangered, but their population is becoming less. Rare is by their population is by nature itself will be less. Now, next is critically endangered. Now, the correct answer will be fourth. That means in critically endangered, in the near future only, that means very near future only, they'll be becoming extinct. Okay, they'll have the danger of becoming extinct, either in wild or totally extinct. So that therefore the correct answer is critically endangered in the near future. Means there are two again. One is critically endangered. Two terms are there. One is critically endangered. Another is just endangered. Both are differing in terms of time. Here in critically endangered, in near future only, that means almost immediate future only, the extinction will occur. In endangered, in the near future or little bit away, still it takes some time for becoming extinct. So that is called as endangered and critically. That means here time will be quick, here time will be uh, not so quick as compared to the critically endangered species. Which of the following pair of geographical area show maximum biodiversity in our country? So in our country, maximum biodiversity will be there in biological hotspot regions. And you know that which of these will come under biological hotspot regions, you have to know among the four options. Now, biological hotspot region means Himalayas. So here there is Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats is not biologically hotspot. Here, the desert region will not have so much of, the desert ecosystem may not have so much of species diversity. Okay, West Bengal also. Now you can see Himalayas. Here they have mentioned Eastern Himalaya. It means it is a biological hotspot region. So it should have maximum biodiversity. And of course, Western Ghat also comes under biological. So these two are having maximum biodiversity. So Indo-Burma, Sri Lanka, they also have maximum. And you know that Eastern Himalaya, it is also called cradle of speciation. It means that it really indicates the extent of species richness in this area. Next is Kerala and Punjab. Specifically, the state's name won't be mentioned in biological hotspot region, because if you see Western Ghats, it will span, I mean, it will include Maharashtra, Karnataka as well as Kerala, and Himalayas also includes various states right from Kashmir, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh. So the regions will be named here. Okay. So maximum biodiversity in our country is in Eastern Himalayas and Western Ghats. Which of the following shows maximum genetic diversity in India? So number of species. When the number of variety is more, it means that there is a diversity. So rice has more number of variety compared to mango, whereas maize and groundnut are very lesser number compared to rice and mango. So if mango 1,000 varieties, rice will be 50,000 varieties. So therefore, highest biodiversity, genetic biodiversity will be in rice. Okay, and genetic diversity always is a diversity occurring within the species. Within a species, that means varieties occurring within a species is an indication of genetic diversity. Why certain rice may differ in their size, in the aroma, in the starch content? Ultimately, it is due to the genes. So there is a variety of genes in terms of size of the grain or in terms of the aroma or taste of the rice. So therefore, genetic diversity is due to genes, and that will be within the uh, same species. Which are correct explanation about higher diversity in tropical areas in comparison to temperate areas means? Now among the reasons, among whatever this is given here, whatever reasons are given, which will explain the higher diversity in tropical area. So tropical area is higher in diversity because no favorable seasons are there, will be wrong. Tropical regions are higher in diversity because less solar energy is there. This is also wrong because when solar energy is more photosynthesis will be there, more number of plants, more number of herbivores, and more number of carnivores. Okay. Rate of extinction is low in tropic. That is correct. Resource availability is higher in tropic. This is also correct because primary productivity will be more. That is, the plants, the herbivores as well as corresponding carnivores will be more. So correct answer will be third and fourth. So in the third and fourth is correct. So which option is correct is up. So here they're asking which is correct explanation. First two are wrong explanation. Okay. And which is the correct explanation? Tropics have higher diversity compared to temperate because of these reasons. Okay, next, this question is, which of the following is not done in wildlife sanctuary? Okay, so remember, sanctuary is not meant for preservation of plants, whereas national park is meant for plants as well as animals, protecting plants as well as animals. That means national park is both for flora and fauna, but sanctuary is only for fauna but not flora. So fauna is conserved is correct, but flora is conserved will be wrong. So which is not done means here they are telling that which is incorrect regarding the sanctuary. So what is not conserved is sanctuary. Okay, soil and flora is utilized. So in sanctuary, limited permission will be there. Hunting is prohibited. Okay. So here, so in sanctuary, always you should know that which is not done. They have told, so you have to take care of this. So flora is not is conserved is wrong. So flora is not conserved. Okay. So this is so limited, since limited activity is there, since ownership is allowed. So these are the second will be the one that is correct for this question. Continent whose tropical rainforest possesses greatest, okay, here continent, South America directly. So this will have, so South American continent have what kind of tropical forest? Amazonian tropical forest. Amazonian forest, they have highest biodiversity. So this one, there is, that means even the maximum percentage of world's oxygen also is called as a lung of Earth. Okay, because it produces more oxygen. Okay, so it is what? Amazonian forest. They are the one that has very high, and those are present in which continent? The South America. Greatest problem of water conservation is to reduce runoff waters is correct. So reduce precipitation means raining. So definitely the that means among the four options, which will help you to save water. Okay. To reduce the amount of precipitation means if you reduce rain, you cannot save water. So it's not an answer. If you reduce groundwater, you cannot save the. If you reduce evaporation, that is all correct. Answer is runoff water is correct. What is runoff water? For example, when it rains, so lot of water will be produced during the rains will move and finally go to the rivers, and from there they finally reach to the oceans. It means that if this runoff water is not allowed to join to the oceans, a lot of fresh water can be conserved here. So that is a wastage of runoff water is the a main problem to be dealt. So correct answer is second one. So here they have given one question to asking that where is the maximum biodiversity. Now look at this A. In A, how many birds are there? One species of bird. There is one more species of bird. Two different species of birds are there. And again, third group also bird species is only. That means total of 4, 5, 6 species are there. Okay. But all of them belong to birds only. There is no diversity there. Diversity will be reduced if there is an uniformity or similar kind of species are present. Now here you see bird is 2. In the next group, it is called as B group. In the B group, bird is 2. Another bird combination also mammal is 2. That means here at least there is one new variety of mammal present apart from the bird species only. Okay. So it means it is more diverse. B is more diverse than A. Now you see the next one. Here also there is bird species is 2, but mammal species is 2. There is one more new group has come here. That is insect. That is also 2. That means C is more diverse than B, and B is more diverse than A. So it means that maximum diversity. So here options are given. C was more diverse. So maximum diversity in C, because more the uniform the number of species, more the variety, more will be the diversity. Okay. Evenness should be that means variety of species should be more. But here you know that in all the three groups, 6 species only are present. But thing is, in the first group only bird species is there, but in second group bird and mammal. In third group bird, mammal as well as insect. So number of species and diversity is more here. So C is maximum, B is still more greater, and minimum diversity is which group? A group. So correct answer is 1. One Mahotsava was started directly. You should know the what do you call? Directly, you should know the name of the name who has started One Mahotsava. So who has started One Mahotsava is K.M. Munshi. Who initiated One Mahotsava is K.M. Munshi. The Sundar Lal Bhagwana for his movement, Chipko movement, and these all are. Of course, remaining however irrelevant for the topic. The next will be diversity of organisms sharing the same habitat. So habitat is same. That means you should know that diversity will be what? Alpha diversity. Suppose there is one habitat. This is one ecosystem. The variety of species is present here means it will be represented by alpha. And this is again within the community, within the habitat means it will be alpha. Between the two habitat means beta. Over the large area means gamma. So here they are asking sharing the same habitat means they mean that it is within a habitat or community, within the habitat or community. Now, therefore, answer will be which diversity? Alpha diversity. Diversity within the community is called as alpha diversity. Ranthambore National Park is situated in, directly you should know the answer, Rajasthan. Next, species diversity of animals on Earth. You know that plant species diversity is how much? 22%, and animal species diversity will be how much? 70%. Okay, so therefore, correct answer in animals they have asked, so correct answer will be first one, that is the variety of animals present on Earth. The species diversity of all the known species, 70% of the known species will be animals. In which part of biosphere reserve human settlement is permissible? So for this you should know that there is a core zone, and the outer zone is called which zone? Buffer zone. So this is the core zone, this is the buffer zone, and still more outer zone will be transitional zone. Okay, core zone, no permission is allowed at all, total strictness is there. In buffer zone, limited activity will be there, permissible. It may be for knowledge purpose or research activities and all will be permitted in buffer zone. But in transitional zone, what will be there? Human settlement can be possible, means person can buy a particular land, then start growing plants and start owning the, like that, ownership is possible here. So therefore it is possible in which zone is transitional zone. Okay, so buffer zone limited, core zone not at all allowed. Settlement is not at all allowed actually, both in transitional and not, excuse me, the settlement is not at all allowed means both for core zone and buffer zone. But you can see that in buffer zone limited is there. Limited means suppose if the research has to be done, some plant has to be studied, in that case what they'll do is this can be, buffer zone can be used for studies. Now this next question explains why is India called, what they're asking, the species diversity of plants on the earth. It is not, okay, this is 22%. Already animals diversity is 70%. This will be what? 22%. And these two numbers you should remember. Why species diversity is more in India, and because of which India is called mega diversity country of the world. That means India occupies only 2.4% of the total land in Earth, but species diversity is 8.1, because of which it's called mega diversity. However, it will come in the next question. Right now, what you should know is species diversity of plants on Earth is 22%. What is sustainable use of resources? Protected strips of land that allows organism to migrate from one wilderness area to another. This cannot be called sustainable use of resources. This is incorrect. Okay. The law that makes it illegal to harm to the species that are listed as endangered. So that is not use of resource. Use of resource means how the forest products are used. Okay, how the natural resources, it may be plants or animals, are used there. Ability to use natural resources so that it will help people to protect the ecosystem. It means that when a forest is there, or say when an ecosystem is there, human being can use plants, can use animals, but he should know how much to use so that it will not harm the ecosystem also, and the person will be also benefited for it. Permanently he will be benefited from it. Okay, so that is nothing but sustainable use. In case there is no sustainability, means the person ceases to use the resources from the natural resources from the biodiversity. Now, of course, resource use means it cannot be a study here. So, correct answer will be what? The third one. Ability to use the natural resource in the way that will help the people also. At the same time, it will protect the ecosystem also. So, in the near future, there are more chances. Who has more chances of, who will face the threat of extinction? Which group of an animal will face the threat of extinction? They're asking in the next question. Okay, so in percentage wise, so if bird, there is what is there, 12% of the birds can get extinct in the future, and amphibians, 32% of amphibians can get extinct in the future. Then 23% of mammals can get extinct in the future. Gymnosperm 31%. So you can see highest risk group is amphibian. Okay, which of the following organisms it should be will face the threat of, group of organism will be what? Amphibians. Okay, birds 12% maximum. Okay, that means which of the following will face the threat of extinction in a maximum way, they mean here. Okay, in the maximum way, who will suffer? Amphibians. The next risk is gymnosperms, next risk is mammals, least risk is birds. Okay, risk of extinction. Following combination of species, okay, which combination got extinct due to anthropogenic activity? Okay, what is anthropogenic activity? This is an important term. Human activity is called anthropogenic activity. Now, when I tell human activity, say it can be building a dam, building a road, cutting down the forest, then killing animals for animal products, or taking off the trees, that is deforestation due to plant products, or these human activities are called as anthropogenic activity. That means for the shellfish reasons of humans, they will be either for shellfish reasons, human will be either exploiting the over exploiting the nature. He will be either utilizing more of plants or more of animals. Now here, which of these species are being due to? Stellar sea cow and passenger pigeon, thylacine and dodo. Okay, this is not an answer. Stellar sea cow and dodo. Stellar sea cow and passenger, both 1 and 3. The correct answer is both 1 and 3. 1, you know, it's given already in NCERT. 1, stellar sea cow and passenger pigeon. Third one, stellar sea cow and dodo. Even same, dodo also is due to human exploitation. Okay, so because of which there is a what do you call these species, because of the shellfish exploitation by humans, these species got extinct, and therefore answer will be both 1 and 3. Here thylacine was not specifically will not fit into the conditions of this. The term evil quartet, okay, is related to major causes of population explosion will be wrong. Forest loss is wrong. Biodiversity loss is correct. Because biodiversity means not just only plants, it is even animals too. Air pollution also. So evil quartet means what? It is a sobriquet for biodiversity loss. What is sobriquet? Nickname. Okay. Instead of telling that there are 4 causes for biodiversity loss like habitat fragmentation, overexploitation, co-extinction, and alien species invasion, instead of repeatedly taking these 4 names, there can be a single nickname for all these four. It means they are compulsorily responsible for biodiversity loss, these four reasons. That is why instead of taking all these four names each and every time, there is a nickname here, and that is called as evil quartet. And that nickname meaning itself is called sobriquet. Gir is sanctuary. If not natural or natural, it's a sanctuary. And you should know that what is the difference between national park and sanctuary. National park in terms of area will be bigger than sanctuary. National park will be both for flora and fauna, but sanctuary is for the fauna. Limited permission is allowed in sanctuary, but national park it is more strict. No ownership and no collecting of forest products and all will not be allowed in national park, but in sanctuaries limited human activity is allowed. So Gir sanctuary is for what? Directly you should know the answer. Which of these is an in situ method of conservation? So in situ means in its own natural habitat, protecting the animal in its own natural habitat. We are not getting that animal outside the forest. We are protecting in its own place. That is why it's called as in situ. Okay. So natural habitat, yes, it is national park and all. The forest is reserved. So habitat will be natural. So correct answer will be natural park. Now see botanical garden man-made. Okay, tissue culture also man-made, genetic engineering, all are man-made. So only natural habitat and the animal is protected in a natural habitat means the answer will be first one, national. Chipko movement was launched for protection of what? Chipko movement, one of the leaders of the Chipko movement is Sundarlal Bahuguna. What is the why this particular movement was started? It is ultimately to protect the forest. It is not to protect the grassland, livestock, or wetlands. It is to protect the forest. Then, measure of a variety of species and their relative abundance. Okay, variety of species and their abundance present in the given region. Okay, so here variety of species and their abundance present in a given region is referred as species diversity. Okay, species biodiversity. Now you can see measure of variety of species and their abundance within a region. So biodiversity is a broad term. Within that, there are genetic biodiversity, species diversity, and ecological diversity. Now they are not asking just variety of species existing. They are asking variety of species, okay, and their abundance in a given region. Okay, that will be what? Species diversity. Water hyacinth was introduced in Indian waters to reduce pollution. It is an example of what they are asking. See, since it was known to remove pollutants in the river water, what they introduced this in Indian waters, this was actually original from Amazon forest. In Amazon forest, this will not spread quickly because usually these alien species in their native place are not invasive. But when this plant was introduced in India with an objective to reduce pollution, it created one more problem. It started spreading very fast. Okay. So it is now, it became what? So from South America, from Amazon forest, it was brought to India with the purpose of removing the pollutant. So in Amazon, it was not spreading fast, but that plant they got and grew into Indian waters. Now in the water bodies of India. Now in Indian water they started uncontrollably growing. When they uncontrollably grow it, and what happens? Native plant species have started becoming lesser to grow. Okay. It means that it becomes what species now? Alien species invasion. What exact term you should know? Alien species invasion. Because it spreads fast and affects the local species, affects the growth of local species, and some of the local species can even become extinct. That is why it is called as what? Alien species invasion. So water hyacinth, Camara lantana or Parthenium, these all are examples of water hyacinth. About 1,000 different varieties of varieties of what are present in India. So mango varieties. Why? Because of genetic biodiversity. Because of genetic biodiversity, what happens is mango varieties are more, because the genes responsible for the color of mango are different. Even though species is same, but gene for color, some mango may have different color, bright color, some mango may remain greenish, or some mango are red, or different colors are possible because it's contributed by genes. So it is a genetic biodiversity. Consider this following statement, you see. By the end of 20th century, the forest cover in India was reduced to 19.4%. This is a statement directly. So it is correct. National Forest Policy was implemented in year 1988. Got? This is also correct. Okay. Now you see, average annual product of dry grass and hay in India is about 250 million tons. This you should know. This is supposed to be correct, but it may change from year to year. So this is correct in the recent whatever they have found out. It's correct. About 10% of population lives in arid and semi-arid regions where there is dry areas are called arid, semi-dry area. Okay, arid and semi-arid regions. For example, deserts are arid regions. Okay, semi-arid means still there is some level of productivity there. So actually, the world's population is actually more than 10%. Only 10% of population will not live in arid and semi-arid regions. More than 10%. So correct answer is third. Next. Endemic species is one that has been introduced into new geographical area will be wrong. That is called as alien species, not endemic species. Second, you see, that is found in many different geographical area, widely distributed species. It is not correct. It is found only on islands. There is no particular word being using as islands, because endemic species do not refer only to island. It can refer to any of the mainlands also. That is found naturally in just one geographical area. This is going very much near to this definition. What is endemism? Means an animal that is found in a particular region only, and you will not find it in elsewhere of the world. In this region only, especially, it will be present in one particular. It will be confined to a particular region. Sacred groves in India are related to what? Cultural tradition. Sacred groves has nothing to do with cultural tradition. It is the place where threatened species are protected. This will not directly there. Threatened species can be protected by many other means also. It is a place where artificial animal breeding is allowed. This is also not possible. This is mainly sacred grove is in situ. It is not ex situ. So therefore, you cannot take animal breeding as an example. So forest patches around the place of worship. This is important. Worship means for religious purpose. Okay, those as a religious purpose or for what do you call for the purpose, the forest regions will be reserved so that that area will be protected. Identify the names of two hotspots of biodiversity in India. Here, first one will not be an answer because of Deccan Plateau. Second one will be the answer. That is Western Ghats as well as Himalayas. These are the two biological hotspot regions in the country. And Deccan will not be an answer. Here, Gangetic Plains will not be an answer. Plains will always have. You see, Gangetic Plains is rich in agriculture, and definitely you should know that in agricultural land, diversity is least, whereas in forest, variety of plants, animals will be more. So that is the Gangetic Plains. Next. Which one of the following is an example of ex situ conservation? Means bringing the animal out of its natural habitat, keeping it in captivity. After keeping it in captivity, they will then protect it. That is called ex situ, means bringing out under a human captivity or under an enclosure that is made by human. So wildlife sanctuary, it is not ex situ. Okay, seed bank. Correct. Seed bank is ex situ, where the seeds are stored under low temperature of minus 20 degrees centigrade in order to preserve the germ plasm. Sacred groves are ex situ, national park is ex situ, wildlife sanctuary is ex situ. Seed bank is in situ. No, just a minute. Students, wildlife, sacred groves and national park are in situ. The seed bank is what is ex situ. Okay. Next, species is listed in red data book. You know that it is maintained by IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. Now you see what all type of animals it will list. Threatened, correct. Okay, then endangered, rare. Almost all these species will be listed in IUCN. Wildlife Protection Act. You should only know the year 1972. Wildlife Protection Act was passed. Now here also you should know some of the data regarding the various diversity, endemic biodiversity, which can be very important. So endemic biodiversity, even though not given in NCERT, it is like you should directly know it. So endemic biodiversity of India means those plants and animals found in India only. They are not found in other parts of the world. Okay. So therefore answer will be directly will tell in India there are 33% flowering plants which are especially in India but not found in other countries or other areas. Other countries. Then mammals, 10% of the mammals found in India will not find in any part of the world. And reptiles also 36% endemic biodiversity is there. Amphibians highest biodiversity, and that too in entire India, highest amphibian biodiversity is there in Western Ghats. Okay, and even compared to Eastern Ghats, amphibian biodiversity is highest. Then freshwater fish, 53% of them. Okay, 53% of the freshwater fish you don't find it in other countries. So it is like endemic biodiversity of India. Which of the following is now called World Conservation Union? So IUCN's name itself is changed now. World Conservation Union. Okay. Environment Protection Agent, United Nations Environment Protection, Environment Protection Agency, Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change, like that. So out of this only first one you should know that IUCN was earlier name and now it is called World Conservation Union. First biosphere reserve in India, conserving the gene pool of flora and fauna and the lifestyle of tribals was Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. And Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve will be spanning the region of, say, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, as well as Karnataka. So the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserves, you know that Biosphere Reserves will be very large, and their area will cover the area of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, as well as Karnataka. And you should know Bandipur National Park, Nagarhole, both will come in the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. It means that biosphere is a large area which in turn has many national parks and sanctuaries inside it. Okay, so first Biosphere Reserve will be Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. What is a wildlife? Any living organism in any habitat will be wrong. It's not wildlife. Only predator animal in the natural habitat will also be wrong. Okay. Any living organisms in its natural habitat is called as wildlife. Only economically important, only economic wise, if you say, because there are so many plants and animals in the forest which are not economically important, but they are considered to be useful, okay, to keep the balance, okay, in the nature. So therefore correct answer will be 3. Now fruit eating birds, its groups SAR curve is done, and what is the value of Z they're asking. Mammals, then slope. Z means slope in that equation, which you should know. Tropical world, different continents. The slope will have which value? See here, for usually value will be 0.1 to 0.2 if the area is small. Otherwise, it will be 0.6 to 1.2 if it is a very large area. Large area according to SAR curve means continent wise. If you say a small state, which is say Kerala or it can be Tamil Nadu or even sometimes Karnataka, the value again will fall between 0.1 and 0.2. Any animal's diversity, species richness, if you calculate by using SAR curve. You should know that SAR curve is an example of pattern of biodiversity. Here, species richness and the area. When the graph of species richness is plotted against the area, then what happens is a rectangular hyperbolic curve is obtained. Okay, that means as the area increases, species richness also increases, but up till a certain extent. And this graph was studied by Alexander von Humboldt. So now they are asking continents. When word continent is there, value should be between 0.6 to 1.2. So it is given already in the book 1.1 pi. In tropics, rate of extinction is low. If you know about the more number of species, so why they are there in tropics is temperate has an unstable environment, so species survival has become less there. Species survival has become less and extinction has become more, and quite opposite in case of tropic. Tropic is undisturbed and protected uh, region on the earth, tropical areas. Understand? So the extinction is low here, which means option. And as estimated by Robert May, what is the total number of species present on Earth? So, total number of species present on Earth. Okay. So, Robert May did mathematical calculation, and then he calculated that on the Earth there can be 11 million species. But what IUCN says, according to IUCN, only 1.5 million species have been recorded so far. So it means that hardly only less percentage of species have been recorded so far. Many of them are unrecorded. Okay. So this was about the estimation that how many species are present on the earth by Robert May. Okay. Which of the following statement correctly defines the term biodiversity hotspot? Okay. Biodiversity hotspot. It is a biogeographical region. No. Entire biogeographical region cannot be considered as hotspot region. That you should make a note. So biodiversity region cannot be considered. This is a wide area actually. This biodiversity region is a biogeographical biodiversity hotspot region. Within entire biogeographical region is not possible. Okay. That means the biodiversity hotspot can be a part of biogeographical region, but it itself cannot be entire biogeographical region. Understand? So first one is not correct. Okay. Now, second one, you see, the term biodiversity hotspot specifically refers to biologically rich areas around the world. Correct? Yes. That means species richness is there. Okay. That have lost 70 in the past, compared to the past, 70% of their original habitat is lost, means they require attention. Now they should be declared as biological hotspot region and the species there should be protected. Okay. This is also correct. Now, which is correct? Only B. Now, D, you see what it says B and C. Okay, only B is correct. And what is B? Okay, it is just like you should know the definition, that's all. So, if you consider in that way, correct answer will be D. Communities with more species tend to be more stable than those with less species. This was confirmed by which of the scientists here? This is David Tillman. David Tillman, what did he do is he took a plot and then in one of the plots, the diversity was less, in another plot, the diversity was more. And then whenever there was natural disturbances, he saw that the plot that had more diversity survived. That means species supported each other, sustenance was, supported each other. Whereas the plot that did not have biodiversity, that got a lot of species losses there. Understand? So it means it vanished more, but the one which has many species were able to tolerate the natural calamities or disturbances. So that was explained by David Tillman. David Tillman also says that species richness is very important for stable ecosystem. Understand? Alexander von Humboldt means for SAR curve, species area relationship curve. Paul Ehrlich, which is that, which hypothesis? Private Popper hypothesis. Edward Wilson, will be for Edward Wilson is for coining the term biodiversity. That means popularizing the term rather than coining, popularizing the term biodiversity. Which one of the following possesses a very large number of endemic amphibian species? Northeastern Ghats is incorrect. Andaman Nicobar Island is incorrect. Western Ghats is correct. I told that in entire India, the one which has the highest biodiversity will be Western Ghats. And therefore, answer will be third here. Okay. So next is Northwestern Ghats. Even that is. So species area relationship curve is used by ecologist Alexander for what? Now whatever the scientists are there, ecologists are there, how do they use the species area relationship curve? What is that is? The species area relationship curve will examine how human population is growing. So growth of human population specifically is of no use studying in species area relationship curve because their number of different species are recorded and not a single species. Estimate the number of plant species only in a given area. Only plant species it will not consider. All the total species richness will be considered. Estimate the number of species extinction resulting from habitat destruction. This can be the application of the SAR curve. Even the SAR curve has been only explained for species richness. Today, ecologists will use the same curve and then find out any deviation in the slope. Is it related to the loss of certain species permanently or did it lead to extinction or no? That can be calculated. Okay, through reverse calculations are used in order to find out if there is any extinction or no. The government of India in 1980s has introduced a concept to work closely with local community for protecting and managing the forest. The concept is called joint forest management. Why did what is the advantage of joint forest management is the government will give benefits for local people if they protect their ecosystem or if they protect their forest. They are benefited with the forest products and therefore with this type of benefits people will be encouraged to protect their forest. So therefore the government as well as local communities joined hands, so both together started this uh, function of started this initiative in order to protect the forest. That is called joint forest management. Okay, and government will interact with local communities and local communities will protect the forest and in turn they will get the benefits and products from the forest. Western Ghats have greater amphibian diversity than Eastern Ghats. This is species diversity. So number of species is present in Western Ghats are more than Eastern Ghats, we say. That means it is species diversity. Now genetic diversity, already I told variety of mangoes, variety of rice, and also variety of potency as well as concentration of reserve pine in Rolfia across the Himalayas is all the example of genetic biodiversity, whereas species diversity means amphibians. And ecosystem diversity or ecological diversity will be India has more ecosystem diversity compared to Scandinavian countries like Norway and Sweden. Renewable and exhaustible natural resources. See, coal, once all coal deposits are gone, it cannot be easily renewable. Neither petroleum nor minerals, but forest, it can be renewable. If the forest lands are reduced, means the trees can grow again, and again it can be, it is exhaustible, but yet it is renewable. That means the plants can be grown again. Afforestation and reforestation can conserve the forest. So you see here, number of species per unit area. Already you studied this in SAR curve. It is called as species richness. Species evenness means their number is important. Species equalitability means it is to do with the distribution. And here species diversity means it is a combination of species richness plus species evenness. So here species richness and evenness both are important in species diversity. Okay, but only statement is given here as the number of species per unit area, means it is called species richness. So estuaries. So estuaries means what? For example, a river is there. This river ultimately goes and joins to the oceans. Now, as it joins to the oceans, it becomes a broad triangular area like this. And then finally joins with ocean. And this triangular area at the point, this is the river, this is the ocean. At the junction, it becomes a very large triangular area. And that area is called as estuaries triangle. It has its own species inside it. And salt concentration is inside the water is not too what you call salty like ocean, not too like the fresh water like the river. And it has its own biodiversity. So now it is also carries all the nutrient rich substances here in this region from the river will be carried and deposited in this region. So it will arise due to what? Not due to a pond, lake or ocean. It is due to the joining of the river with that of ocean. India comprises of global species diversity. Okay, this point I was telling last time. See, area occupied by India in the world is 2.4%. Area is very less. But when you compare to biodiversity, this 8.1% of species are in the world, in total world, whatever species are there, out of that 8.1% is present in India only. It means that area is less, but biodiversity is more. And because of this reason, India is called mega bio, a country of what diversity? Mega, one of the mega biodiversity country of the world, one of them. Which of the following is the first national park? Jim Corbett National Park. Jim Corbett National Park, it is this one. Okay, and its specialty is for protecting the tiger. More than 70% of world's fresh water, no, just concentrate. It's not just water. If it was just water, maximum water is present in oceans. That's different. 70% of fresh waters of the world, where it is present in the polar ice. It is trapped in the polar ice, fresh water. Okay. And you know that due to the melting of polar ice, the fresh waters present in the river will ultimately join to ocean and increase the sea level. Okay, so 70% of the world's fresh water is present in polar ice. Okay, here one more thing. So only Antarctica considering only Antarctica will be wrong. Only glaciers and mountains. Mountains cannot be the source of fresh water. Okay, mountain word is different. Glaciers, of course, it is a moving mass of huge ice, so it can have it. Greenland is basically a country. So you should know from where the polar ice means. It is referring to the uh, regions which is rich in ice, and upon melting of that will be leading to more of fresh water, but it has a bad consequence of increasing the sea levels and submerging the coast. The factors which is responsible for replacement, it can be both factor or factors. We'll see what is that. Is responsible for replacement of existing species with better adapted species. Now they're telling that there is one existing species. Okay, in the in this particular region there is one existing species. One species comes and replaces it, and this species is better adapted, they say, to this environment. Okay, then it is also adapted, but it is a good predator and better adapted to environment conditions, better adapted, it's resistant to diseases and all. So what is the reason that this species is having these characters? Okay, now this species will be called what? Alien species. Why alien species will be like that means it can be genetic factors or even population factors. Both are necessary. So answer will be both A and B. Which of the following is exotic species? Okay. Exotic species right now you should consider with reference to which country? In India, which will be an exotic species. Okay, Parthenium originating from America, like that. All these are exotic species or alien species. Camara lantana, okay, usually from the near to America, West Indies and all. And this is Ichornia. This is from Amazon. So it is exotic for Indians. Okay, so all the three are exotic species. Fourth is correct. Fourth one is correct. Which of the following is correctly matched? Alpha diversity. Number of species in a given habitat. So there is one habitat or there is a ecosystem. How many species are there here means we'll say it is what? Alpha biodiversity. Genetic variations in genes within a species. It can be mango, it can be rice, it can be the reserpine concentration in this one reserpine concentration in the Rolfia and all. This is all genetic. Even this is correct. Beta diversity means one more ecosystem will come, and if you're comparing the species between the two ecosystems, then it is called as beta between the community like this. So they are not asking whole region will be wrong. Means over the whole region means this does not give an answer. Over the large area means gamma. Whole region means it will be within one region. If you consider it will be alpha. Between the two region ecosystem and all, so it is not correctly defined. So it will be not correct. Yes, species level. Product of species richness and evenness. This is correct. So how many are correct? 1 to 4 are correct. 1 to 4. Next. What is an objective of IUCN? The responsibility of IUCN, one of the responsibilities of IUCN is maintaining what? A red data book. In this book, what will be there? List of those species that have already got extinct only, or list of those species that have got extinct only in the wild, but still they are surviving in what? XC2, that is in human captivity. Or critically endangered means in immediate future they will get extinct. Just endangered means in the near future, further later they can get extinct. Vulnerable means their population is becoming lesser and lesser. Okay. And then again comes low risk zone, data deficient, not evaluated, like that. Different uh, uh, categories will come in case of what? Red data book. Conservation in natural habitat is in C2. Whereas zoological park, botanical garden, XC2, these are two are what? XC2, they are these two are XC2. Next, type of curve obtained in SAR curve. Okay, type of curve obtained in SAR curve. Okay, mathematical curve they mean. SAR curve is a general term used. What type of curve is obtained in SAR curve? Rectangular, hyperbolic. Hmm? So from higher latitude, that is from polar regions and all will be higher latitude, value will be high, degrees and all. To lower latitudes means here. Okay. So what happens if the person moves from either lower latitude to higher or higher? Here they're asking from higher latitude to lower latitude. Understand? In that case, the biodiversity is going to what? From higher latitude to lower latitudes. Understand? So the answer will be decrease. From lower latitude to higher latitude, that means from equator 0 degrees till the polar region it is going to increase, but from higher value to lower it is going to decrease. Now, Ribet-Popper hypothesis, it was started from what do you call? See here, always this one. This you should know the definition of latitudinal gradiency. As we move from equator, which is see here, as we move from equator, so in the equator latitude, and this is to be as we move from equator to the poles, the biodiversity is going to increase. The biodiversity is going to decrease, and as we move from poles to the equator, biodiversity is going to increase. Ribet-Popper hypothesis assumes this Ribet-Popper hypothesis was started by Paul Ehrlich. Okay. What did he do is he did a comparison, that's all. He says ecosystem is like aeroplane. Okay. And there is aeroplanes fitted with bolts, and those bolts are called rivets, and bolts are like species. Suppose a passenger sitting in the aeroplane start removing bolt one by one, what happens? Finally, when they remove the rivet of the wing, then the aeroplane will collapse. Like that, if the human beings start removing species from the ecosystem, then what will happen? Uh, Species from the ecosystem, then what is going to happen is uh, ecosystem is going to collapse, just like how the aeroplane will collapse. So that is what is given here. So Ribet Popper hypothesis assumes that A to be an aeroplane means ecosystem to be an aeroplane, and B to be a rivet bolts means species is to be that. Comparison is done. Okay, that's why it's called Ribet Popper hypothesis. Wildlife conservation aims at maintaining ecological process. When wildlife is controlled, automatically what will be maintained? Ecological process will be maintained. To enrich the wildlife biodiversity with exotic, we don't see exotic species are unpredictable. If they become very much invasive, they can cause the loss of the local species. So this cannot be an answer. Preventing migration of species. See, some many of the animals will naturally migrate for their own benefit. That cannot be prevented by wildlife conservation. Maintain the diversity of life. Definitely, when biodiversity is maintained, the ecosystem will be in balance. So, correct answer is 1 and 4. Correct answer is which one? 1 and 4. Biodiversity increases from poles to equator, equator to poles, both A and B. So I already told it is according to a phenomena called latitudinal gradiency. Equator, what is the value? 0. Higher level means it will go 41, 62 like that, 70. It goes like that. So here what happens? Equator to poles, biodiversity will increase. Poles to equator, biodiversity will decrease. Understand? So reasons you know already that why it will increase, why the number of species will be more in equator and it will be less in poles is from the past itself. The equator region, that is the tropical region, is less disturbed and it has lot of solar energy. So plants will be more, herbivores will be more, as well as carnivores will be more. But in temperate and polar region, there has been a lot of environment disturbance, because of which the species would go easily extinct and survival rate would have been less. So as the number of species will die, means even species richness will become less. The correct answer is increases from equator to poles as you move from equator to poles. Plant in an obligatory way means compulsory association, they tell. The plant in an obligatory way is associated with a pollinator. Now you should know that pollinator is associated, they are dependent now. Mutualism is there, so they are dependent. Plant is dependent on a pollinator. In what way? Obligatory way means compulsory. Pollinator compulsory required of a plant, plant compulsory require pollinator. Then extinction of pollinator will lead to decrease in pollination? No. But what is the word which you should know is compulsory relationship. No effect because because no effect will be there because one more pollinator cannot be there, because here what is there? Obligate association is there. The plant would not be pollinated, but not extinct is wrong. It might be when the association is obligate, there is a chances of extinction. Now you see, plant would not be pollinated, correct, and it would become extinct. So fourth is correct. Most of the endangered species are victim of what? Competition introduced. Okay, competition with introduced species. So what is an introduced species will be called as alien species. Okay, then second is habitat. Even both are correct. Overhunting would be wrong. Acid rain. Now you see, evil cortex are there. Out of them, the major cause for that was most of the individuals were victim for what? Habitat destruction. And remember, one of the out of the four, the major cause for biodiversity loss is habitat fragmentation and destruction. Whereas the second major cause is what? Alien species invasion. So first is which one? Habitat destruction. Here they have given an example here. In this example, what they have given us, Pronuba and Yucca. This is a plant. The Pronuba is okay. These two are, and this is the plant, and this is the moth. Is mutualistic relationship is there? Which of the following term describes the situation? Co-extinction. If one will become extinct, means other will also become extinct because there is obligate association. Now you see, the state of Gujarat has river, desert, forest, lake, various ecosystems are there. They mention variety of what is there, habitat is there, or ecosystem is there, thus exhibiting diversity of life. Now, which measure do you use to denote the total diversity in such cases? Now, here you don't compare large area, means here you cannot compare it for continent. In SAR curve, large area defines a continent, but here they are considering many habitats, deserts, forests, many ecosystems together. Understand? That means a large area is taken. When a large area is taken, answer will be what? Gamma diversity. Answer will be gamma diversity. And now you have to see this one. Biodiversity is affected by latitude and species area relationship, longitudinal variance, latitude. Okay, answer is what? Biodiversity can be affected as the latitude changes or as the area is changing. This is correct. Species area, as the area is changing, longitude has no role. These are latitudes, but longitudes will not have any role. So wherever longitude is there, there is no gradiency, longitudinal gradiency. Wherever longitudinal gradiency is given, it will be incorrect. So correct answer will be first one. Okay, longitude is not considered. So you cannot tell from this longitude to this longitude, or as you move from one longitude to another, it will be wrong. Only there is what kind of gradiency? Latitudinal gradiency is there. Longitudinal gradiency does not exist. But one more gradiency exists. Altitudinal gradiency can be there, or latitudinal gradiency. But longitudinal gradiency won't be there. So answer will be what? The first one. Susceptibility to extinction means directly you should know the answer. It is found that the extinction can depend on the body sizes, or can depend on very small population can undergo extinction, or high trophic level is there where the number of individuals are less than, even that case there is a possibility of extinction. So correct answer will be fourth. Yes. So here, Dash is a taxon which is likely to move to endangered category in the near future. Okay. Okay, now you should know uh, which is likely to move to endangered category. So you cannot select what? Endangered itself. It is telling the category that will move to, it means that suppose this is extinct in the wild, critically endangered, vulnerable, low risk like that. If the animal is in vulnerable stage, further the population will decrease means it will reach to endangered. Further there is a decrease means it will reach to critically endangered. Further decrease means it is absent in the wild means it will further decrease. Finally, when the number reduces too much, it will be protected by human captivity. So they are telling that it is a taxon. Hmm, which is likely to move means in the future if negligence is done or if human activities or whatever causes will be there, it will move to from that group to which group? Endangered. So it will move from vulnerable to endangered. So can animal come out from endangered to again low risk or vulnerable? Definitely. If the conservation is done or if protection is given, it can even be removed from the list of endangered species. Best example is bald eagle, which underwent biomagnification. Then conservation steps was taken in order to conserve it and it came out of the list. Okay, so no more it was considered as endangered. Okay, so correct answer here is which one? Vulnerable. See, apart from this, you should know points like what is the use of, see, among the invertebrates, the highest biodiversity is in insect. Okay, then comes mollusk and crustaceans. Among vertebrates, highest biodiversity means among the invertebrates it was insect. Among plants it will be angiosperms, fungus. Understand? Like algae, bryophytes, these will be the highest. Among vertebrates, it will be what? Among the vertebrates, it will be fish. Okay, like that. Uh, the animals which have highest biodiversity, you should know from the pie chart. And also, you should know that why biodiversity is necessary. It is necessary both for broad utilitarian as well as narrow utilitarian. Broad utilitarian is the human being takes some economic benefit from the, it can be industrial product, it can be food, it can be, so human being makes an effort to get some product from it. So 25% of the medicines are sourced in plant. Okay, and getting cereals, pulses, industrial products, it can be textile industry or any industrial product which the human being make an effort will be uh, what do you call the utility. One more utility is certain services nature will give us free, and those services are like pollination, or it can be oxygen or aesthetic value. Okay, and it is our responsibility that we should protect our biodiversity so that the future generation have a right to enjoy the same biodiversity. So it becomes our moral responsibility. So you should know which are the broad utilitarian and which is the narrow utilitarian. Okay, now this one you see. Biodiversity Act was passed in 2002. So these are some what do you call some of the points we should know, which you should also know one more thing, that World Summit was held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The major objective was conservation of biodiversity and even utilization of resources from the biodiversity. Okay, and 1992 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So these are some of the points which you should know. So this completes question paper discussion.